This video is partially sponsored by SleepShift, a long-time partner of the channel. They've decided to remove pre-orders and long waits between purchase and delivery. In fact, with the Elite Series 1 and the brand new Elite Series 2, all products are ready to ship. And with the code EEL5, you'll get 5% off while also supporting the channel. And now, back to the video. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the new banned list and its consequences heading into OP15. I'm joined once again by Enrico. Hi, Enrico.
Hello.
Who will help us understand the big winners and losers of this ban list. So, Enrico, before we start sharing our thoughts, let's do a quick recap.
Yes.
On March 16th, the new ban list was announced. Start from April 1st, padding will no longer be playable as it is officially been banned. At the same time, several cards had been unbanned, including Raigo, Jinbe, Ice Age, Great Eruption, and Moby Dick. Now that we have the full list in front of us, we can probably remove some cards from the discussion. Even though they were technically unbanned, they belong to Block 1, which will rotate out of the format on April 1st. So unless you're interested in extended format, we'll skip those for now, and maybe we'll talk about them in a dedicated video. With that said, let's start with some general thoughts about the ban list, and later we'll go card by card. So, Enrico, what do you think about this ban list overall? And would you have considered banning any other card alongside it?
So there is no ban list basically. I think it's I am not happy about it. I already said on Twitter that I don't think they did this ban list by knowing what it means like to play against, for example, the new 5-cost Borsalino or Quasar combo. I think it's going to be a very problematic thing, and they might just emergency limit that in the future. The putting ban, I don't think it was needed, honestly, at least from my side, but I'm quite biased because I always play blue decks. So for me, it was not really an issue, but I understand that a lot of people might have gotten frustrated by this card in the past. So it's fine. Like, I don't think it's gonna change for me the game, but eventually some decks might get much better because of the ban of pudding. So she's gonna make strategies that have a lot of cards in hand much better. Matchups decided by the pudding are gonna get a bit more skilled. And yeah, she was gatekeeping a lot of decks, so I think it's a ban that it's gonna be fine probably. The big ban, the big unban actually, that I think is gonna impact a little bit the meta is the Raigo. Since we are not gonna have Red Rock anymore, I think Raigo is a good replacement, but we're gonna switch from blue to yellow as like control color. I think a lot of decks from the past could make use of Raigo, so this unban might unlock some new decks compared to what we see is the Asian meta at the moment. And yeah, Jinbe is irrelevant. I think he's not going to change anything because Duffy is going to rotate away, and all the rest of the cards, like you said, are going to rotate. So I don't think there is anything to discuss about those. So I think overall, I expected to see something from yellow because I think it's going to be a very, very strong color, maybe too strong. And sometimes playing against these new combos might get frustrating because of the triggers and the fact that it's quite unpredictable sometimes to kind of like understand how much time you're left, or like how easy it is to kill your opponent, or like how you need to play around triggers. And or sometimes maybe you have to go for it and then it triggered the wrong card and you lose the game because of that. I think it's going to be quite frustrating because of that. I don't think they should have banned Borsalino itself because it's a new card, and it's I mean, it makes sense that they don't ban something that is not even out, but they should have done something preemptively to avoid this happening. I am quite confident that they will realize the issue because I don't think they test, honestly. And once they realize, they might do a kind of emergency ban or like pair ban. I think it was the smartest thing to do, just to pair ban the two cards So you can still play one or the other, but you cannot play together them. But yeah, it would have been another nerf to Vegapunk. So I think every year they nerf something from Vegapunk. But yeah, I would have expected something from yellow. I don't think other decks need to be banned. I think Emu is fine, since the power creep from this expansion is gonna put it not as like completely broken deck. Ace also is gonna lose cards from rotation, so he's gonna be fine. Cards like the ones that they printed for Lucy are gonna keep Emu on like not as the best deck for now. And also these new yellow decks, they do very well into Emu. So I think she's gonna naturally rotate. She's gonna still be one of the best decks. But yeah, if they would have banned something from Emo, I would have been fine with that. If they would have banned something from Ace, they could have hit other decks. I think Ace is going to be naturally less powerful in the next meta, so I don't think it was needed to ban anything. Also, the ban from Pudding is going to hit Ace. So overall, I'm not personally satisfied, but I think it's fine. I'm quite excited about testing the yellow decks with Raigo because I think it's a good card, and also since we don't have Red Rock anymore. But yeah, they could have done better.
So going a little bit deeper, doing a little bit of a loser and a winner from the ban of Pudding. So which deck do you think were hit the hardest by Pudding, and which one will actually benefit from it?
So the losers are gonna be for sure Boa, because she's not gonna have the combo anymore to just Pudding and Parfum. And I think that's gonna enable a lot of decks to just stack up infinite number of counters in hands and then just drop to 0 and say, I don't care if you unblockable, I'll just counter with like 15 cards. Any blue decks, I was testing a lot of Lucy and I was not running Pudding because I don't think the card was good in the deck, honestly. So I don't think that deck changed at all. The blue-yellow Nami was running Pudding, but I don't think it's a crucial card for that deck because in the end you win by controlling the game most of the times. I think the Ace got it for sure, but I think the Ace can easily play without it. Maybe some rogue blue decks are gonna be hit like Jinbe, I don't know. I don't think there's any deck that is gonna disappear because of the absence of Pudding. I think Boy is the biggest loser from it, and that's it. Also because I don't think there are any other decks in the meta that were relying on Pudding to win games. It was just a tool that they would use, but it was not the most important. The winners are gonna be for sure all the decks that have infinite number of cards. Lucy is one of them. Ace is one of them. Kind of Emu, I would say. All the yellow decks like enel, yellow enel, are gonna benefit from it. The new yellow and red bunny, I think, is gonna benefit from it. Mostly decks that like tend to take a lot of damage early because they enable their leader effect when they go low on life. All decks like BY, Luffy, the blue, yellow Ace, all the three brothers from those starter decks. It's mostly yellow decks, I would say. The green decks are gonna benefit from it. A lot of decks that used to like overtake damage because in the late game they will become bigger with leader base power. They will for sure benefit from it.
Now let's move on to the other blue card that we talk about, Jinbe. Unfortunately, like you said, the Flamingo will rotate out, which was the deck that historically used Jinbe the most.
Yeah.
Do you think there are or will be deck capable of fully utilizing Jinbe again, like Doffy used to?
It's itself a good card in general. I don't think for now, I don't really see any decks that are gonna highly benefit from it. I think the combo with Jinbe and like 7 Warlords is still gonna be a very nice one. I think we are also leaning towards One Piece where like leaders are very big, and that's combo that used to be very strong because most leaders used to be 5,000 is not gonna be as good anymore. And the very good thing about the card was the leader itself that could play for basically 1 Dawn. He had ways to get it on the board as soon as possible. on 3 downs. The card might just be worse now because of the absence of the blue Doffy, honestly. Unless they print another 7 Warlords blue leader that is going to benefit from it, I don't think the card is going to be that relevant, honestly.
To wrap up the BANLIST discussion, let's talk about Raigo. Compared to Jinbe, Raigo is much more a generic card, and yellow has received a lot of support, like we said, in a recent set and even in OP15. Do you think this card will see play again? And if so, which deck might suffer from it and which one could benefit from it?
I think Raigo is the big thing about this ban list, honestly, because the pair ban and unban of like putting in Raigo is like basically boosting yellow even more, because yellow used to be historically a color that used to suffer against putting, because normally yellow wants to like get back life, take damage, stay low on life, and that's that. And they will normally play with a lot of cards. So now that they don't even need to respect putting anymore, I think that Raigo is even better because you can just drop to 1 life and then fully use the Raigo without losing any value. The decks that are gonna benefit from it, I don't think they're gonna be the new leaders, because honestly, decks like the new yellow Luffy from OP15, Kalgara, the blue yellow Nami, the Boa, these decks, they tend to have more than 1 life most of the times, because their survivability is not as good as like other leaders. We might see play for this card, but I'm not sure it's gonna be crucial for those decks. I think the decks that are gonna benefit the most from Raigo, but I don't know if they're gonna be meta at all because I need to test them still, are gonna be for sure the BY Luffy, the blue yellow Ace, so leaders that can drop to 0 because they can get back alive with leader effect most of the times. The yellow enel for sure. The new Bonnie as well. I think she's gonna benefit from it. It's gonna give her an extra tool to control the board. And yeah, any leader that can afford to play with like 1 life and has a reliable way to get back life, or like Bonnie becomes a 7k base, or like leaders that are very resilient. Normally, I would say also the Nami without putting, but like playing with a lot of cards in hand for Nami, it's kind of like doesn't make sense because she's not gonna use leader effect, right? So I don't think it's gonna be that relevant. But yeah, for sure, these old leaders plus the new Bonnie are gonna be the ones benefiting from it 100%.
To close the video, I'd like to ask you one last question. Considering the ban list change and the current state of the meta, which deck would you recommend bringing into OP15?
I think it really depends on like how the meta is gonna shape. For sure, if you ask me today, I would say the blue yellow Nami is one of the best because she kind of like can abuse this Borsalino plus Quasar combo. The Boa would say similar, but since they banned putting now, the Boa is much worse, and the Boa naturally loses to the Nami. I think the new NL is pretty nice. It really depends on how much yellow is going to be popular in the meta. He struggles against yellow, and we need to figure out if the deck can actually fix that matchup. The Lucy is also really nice, but it's the same principle. We need to see if he can actually fix the yellow matchup. Some of the yellows you already counter, but like some others you struggle with. So I think it really depends on the build for that deck. I think Lucy is quite open as a deck, and now that Pudding is not even there, he can easily go to like 12, 15 cards and yeah, play with a lot of cards in hand. I think those are the most common ones. I think Ace and Emu will stay. They're not going to be super top tier probably, but they're still going to be very good decks. I have tested Red Black Kobe is nice. Some decks that just got support from the EB04. All these yellow decks that I mentioned that got the Raigo, now we will need to test. Normally, I would say hopefully one of these that I mentioned is going to be meta. So like either Bonnie or Enel or the Luffy BY or the Ace blue yellow. One of these decks might become meta. And then depending on like if one of the decks with Raigo is going to become meta, then it might reshape the whole meta. So it's very difficult to say now this is going to be the meta. If I had to guess today, I would say yellow decks is the way to go, is the easy pick. And then if the other new decks can actually fix the matchup against yellow, then those are going to be the other contenders. I think the biggest loser from this new expansion plus rotation plus ban list is probably green. It's not going to be one of the best colors. He naturally struggles against yellow. The black doesn't really have anything at the moment except for Emu. Blue is also a loser, but blue can be splashed very easily. Currently, it's a splash color, I would say. And then yellow, of course, is the winner. And then we have purple is probably just an L, but he's gonna be holding the whole color all by himself probably. But yeah, I would say these are the decks that I hope that I guess. So I will take the
The credit.
Yes, 100%.
And that's it for today's video. A big thank you always, Enrico, for taking your time to share your thoughts with us.
Always a pleasure.
You can find his link, his socials, and his guide in the description. Remember to use the code TheHill5. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye bye.